Hi, I'm Pastor David with Declaration Church, and with all the new movies coming out, I've been inspired to look at different characters, and I'm really excited to see the new Star Wars movie that's come out. Frozen 2 is one that my daughter's extremely excited about, and so there are a number of movies that I hope to get the chance to see very soon. But as I've been looking at these new movies that are coming out, I've been finding examples in a lot of movies as I look and I remember the different movies I've seen of characters who really begin in one place, seen in one way, and then at the end, it's revealed that they're something completely different. We see a complete transformation take place. And one of those movies that has been a family favorite for years, and in fact, a family favorite when I was in my parents' home, is Cinderella. Cinderella begins her journey in a very early place, as just a stepsister. She's really not even a part of the family. She's really just kind of a servant, and she does all the dirty work. She doesn't really have a lot of value except for the things that she can do for the people who do matter in the house, for her stepmom and her two stepsisters. She lives in this large estate, but she really doesn't have a lot of value that is given to her, that is assigned to her, that is implied in her life. And maybe even at times, she doesn't see the value in herself. And yet by the end of the movie, what we see is a complete transformation away from someone who has no value to someone who is highly valued, to someone who is a prized and treasured person in the life of the prince. And so she becomes, instead of just some servant, tattered clothes, working around the house as a cinder girl, Cinderella, that's what it actually means in the French, then she moves on to becoming the princess. And of course, later on, if you just continue on with the idea of succession, will become one day the queen of the kingdom. And so she has a great deal of value at the end of the movie. And what we find is that she isn't this person that people thought she was, that we weren't seeing her accurately. But once she enters into the ball and we start to see her in a new light, we begin to discover who Cinderella really is. And I think for us in our society today, we often see people inaccurately. In fact, we even see ourselves inaccurately at times. And so we don't see what God sees, who always sees us accurately. And there's a verse in Luke chapter 1 that struck me a lot the same way, that really made me wonder, does this apply in the same way as with the Cinderella story, where someone begins in one place and the world sees them a certain way, and then at the end, we find out that they're somebody completely different. And so it's Luke chapter 1, verse 28. It's when the angel Gabriel comes to Mary to let her know that she is going to become pregnant with Jesus, that she's going to bear the Messiah. And so Gabriel shows up, and verse 28 reads this way. And he came to her and said, "Greetings, O favored one, the Lord is with you." Now, maybe you're in a situation where your circumstances don't lead you to think that God is with you or that you're favored. And I think Mary was in a lot the same situation. She's a single lady, and she's a virgin, living in her parents' house in a town called Nazareth, where even one of the future disciples of Jesus, when his brother comes to tell him, "Hey, we found the Messiah, we found the Lord," Jesus from Nazareth says, "Can anything good come from Nazareth?" So that certainly doesn't seem to imply that she's favored. She's not from a wealthy, well-to-do, high-end family, so she doesn't have a lot of wealth or a lot of prestige. She is a virgin, so she does have some value in that regard, but she's also betrothed, which means that her value to her family, to her parents as far as a dowry and those kinds of things, that's already been achieved. She can't achieve any higher price. And she's going to be a wife, but she's not yet. She's still living in her parents' house in a male-dominated society where women really are looked down on, especially if they don't bear sons. And so she does, really, in all of her circumstances, she does not look like someone who should be greeted in this way. And so the greeting is so interesting to me because Gabriel says, "Greetings, O favored one, the Lord is with you." And what it shows me is that we don't often see ourselves accurately. We don't always see ourselves the way that God sees us, and we don't always see those around us in the way that God sees them either. And so we have to begin to change our perspective, change our paradigm to fit God's view of people rather than our own. And so maybe your circumstances don't say that you're favored, but I'm here to tell you that if you have a relationship with Jesus, if you've surrendered your life to him and he's your Lord, then you are favored and God is with you. You're not alone. So this greeting would apply to you as well. You are highly favored and God is with you. If you're not a part of Jesus's family, if you haven't surrendered your life to him, if you don't know him, you don't have a relationship with him, you're still actually highly favored, because God has given you, extended to you, an invitation of extreme value that no one else really has ever extended. He's given you the greatest gift that could ever be given. And that's an opportunity, the opportunity to become, the right to become, in Jesus, a child of God. You can become a son or a daughter of the King, an heir to the throne with Jesus, simply by beginning a relationship with him and surrendering your life to him and his plan for you. And so I hope that is encouraging to you. I hope that inspires you to maybe explore who Jesus is if you don't already have a relationship with him. That you would begin to explore who Jesus is, talk to people around you that you know have a relationship with Jesus, and begin to explore that side of things. Start to read through the Bible, see what it has to say in Matthew and Luke and John and Mark, and see what it says about who Jesus is. See what Jesus says about himself. It's an exciting and interesting topic in and of itself. But if you do have a relationship with Jesus, then I have a challenge for you. I want to challenge you to start seeing God in yourself and in the people around you. Because all of us as human beings have been created in God's image, and we reflect him in a unique way. And so you have been placed here. One of the reasons that you're alive today, right now, is to put on display who God is in a way that no one else can, so that we can all around you get to know God in a new way through you. And the people around you, even those annoying people that drive you crazy in the next cubicle over, in the office down the hall, those people reflect God in a way that only they can, and you need to look for God in those people. Try and discover the aspects of God that are maybe even hidden underneath so many other things in those people. So I hope this video has been challenging to you. I hope it's been an encouragement to you. I hope that you will either continue on this journey with Jesus and begin to look for God in the people around you and in yourself, so that you can begin to see yourself and others more accurately, or that if you don't have a relationship with Jesus, that this video challenges you to begin to explore what that looks like and what that means. Begin to discover who Jesus is and what he really wants for you and your life. So even if your circumstances don't reflect that you are favored and that God is with you, know that God has extended to you great favor in the gift of his son, Jesus. I hope that you will give this video a thumbs up if it's been encouraging or challenging to you. I hope you'll share it with other people and subscribe to the channel so that when we do post new videos, you get the opportunity to see them first. As always, I'm Pastor David, and I'm out.